feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good to be back this afternoon. Well, this afternoon for me, evening for you guys, or possibly late at night. But good to be back. Sad updates today. That seems to be the name of the game on this Tuesday, unfortunately. That Alabama cheerleader we talked to you about yesterday who was shot over the weekend, her name is Kimber Mills. She's 18 from Cleveland High School. We heard and read yesterday that she had been at a location called The Pit, and there had been a guy who came along, 27-year-old guy, Tyler Whitehead, had come across and started to harass some of the people at this sort of celebration. They were sort of like hanging out, doing what teenagers do, and a gun went off, unfortunately striking this young lady. And we heard, I think it was yesterday, we heard most likely she would not survive her injuries. Well, unfortunately, very sadly, today she passed away. This afternoon, she was taken off life support and she did her honor walk at the hospital. An honor walk is where someone who donates their organs is taken on a bit of a final celebration and respect type thing through the hospital before they donate their organs. And I was told this happened around 4 p.m. today. That is really sad. A girl who was just starting her life in this world, 18. You think back to when you were 18 and what you were doing, and I don't think it was getting shot in the head while at a bonfire party. But that is the news today. That is that she has passed away, and her heart and lungs will apparently go to someone who needs an organ transplant. So she will live on through other people. And I've heard that people who donate organs sometimes they sort of give parts of their personality to the person who receives the organ. I've heard this before where, someone has an organ transplant, never liked peanut butter, but the person whose organs got given to them was like a peanut butter fanatic. And sometimes, that happens where the person who gets the organ now loves peanut butter and they can't explain it. And it's very strange and it almost seems a little bit airy fairy, but you never know what parts of Kimber may live on in the people she is helping. And some of those personality traits may go on to these other people she is helping. And I hope it does. I hope it does, because everything I've read about this girl, everyone I've spoken to who knows this girl, have said she was a lovely young lady. And if we could have more nice people like that in the world, that would be good. So let me play a little bit down here today. And I don't know if this bit says that she'd passed away, but that's okay. We'll play the video anyway. This is from live5news.com.
Now at 11, we're glad you're with us today. We do begin with a sad update this morning on the condition of the Cleveland High School cheerleader who was critically injured during a weekend shooting in Jefferson County. As we reported, family members say 18-year-old Kimber Mills is not expected to survive. And we've just learned from her older sister that there will be an honor walk for her today at 4 p.m. at UAB Hospital before surgery at 5 to donate her organs. Any loved ones who want to pay respects to Kimber are asked to do so today and arrive at the hospital by 4 p.m. if participating in the walk.
I was reading about the type of support that the community had come out for this young lady. There were hundreds of people who came to the hospital to check on her. Hundreds. They had so many people coming out to the hospital over the weekend and early this week. I think it just shows you what type of girl she was. The fact that these people would all come out to the hospital where she is in a very critical condition to visit her, you know, try and be with her, that type of thing. I think that's really kind. Hundreds of people. Can you imagine that? I can't imagine hundreds of people turning out if I was in hospital. So she must have affected a lot of people in her very short life. I'm trying to read here. Yeah, so her family said, like I told you yesterday, that even with the injuries she had, there was no surgery that would give her a life worth living. And even if they somehow could keep her alive, her life would be on a ventilator with machines that would help her, and she would most likely never fully regain consciousness. And the family was like, that's not a life for anyone. That's just being, that's it's not what you expect, and it's not what you're looking for your 18-year-old, is it? So I understand why their decision and why they said that. I don't think that is a life for anyone. So they also did open a GoFundMe for her and to help some of the other people who were shot. So we keep talking about Kimber, but there was three other people who were shot during this incident. Most of them are okay and will survive, but they also need support too. So not only is this GoFundMe for Kimber Mills, but apparently it's also going to go towards helping some of the other people who were injured over the weekend. Yeah, they've raised just shy of $20,000 so far. $20,000. I hope that does help the family and help some of the people who um, were also shot over the weekend. Helps with their recovery. That is pretty cool. The community seems to be rallying for them. So let me see here. Yeah, she seems like a nice lady. Rachel said her memory will live on. The donor recipients will be so grateful. She says, Rachel says, my hubby got a cornea. I wrote the family a letter. I hope they have sometimes these relationships are grown out of these situations. So maybe the family will end up knowing who got their daughter's organs, and maybe in that sort of connection will help give them some sort of peace at this time, that even though her life couldn't continue, maybe two or more other people's lives were able to continue on this earth, which um, that is a hell of a gift for anyone to give, to allow multiple other people to survive, even if you don't. That is what we would call a hero. And I think that's a good way of describing her. Chipmunk says the donor stories of cell memory is interesting. I believe it. I'd feel sorry for anyone who got mine. Yes, I would. I would be concerned if more of Chipmunk turned up. There'd be many people out there harassing animals. Yes, I'd be very concerned. We'd be like, oh, not again. Well, I thought we just got through with that one. Um, yeah. So awful news out of out of Alabama, Birmingham, and they're saying here, friends and family of Kimber Mills said their goodbyes to the 18-year-old on Tuesday, and they're saying that she was one of four people who were shot at the October 18th bonfire over the weekend. And they said her honor walk was held Tuesday afternoon at UAB Hospital for the Cleveland High School cheerleader as doctors prepared her for organ donation. So there you go. She has probably completed that now, being that it's very early in the morning in Alabama, and I would guess that that process is now complete. So they will have a big ceremony, I'm guessing, for her, and there'll be a big public memorial, I'm guessing, at some point in the next couple of weeks. And I will bring that to you too, to show you how the community is going. Let me go here. Let me play the rest of the video for you about her. Oh, that didn't work. Good work, Ping.
Its teammates, all dressed in pink, her favorite color, and they gathered at the Cleveland High School football field last night to pray and show support for Kimber and her family. Her older sister Ashley spoke to WBRC and shared her feelings of grief and anger at the suspect, who is now charged in the case.
We shouldn't be burying our little sister. It should have been the other way around. It's supposed to go from oldest to youngest, not youngest first. We hope that he gets what he deserves.
Kimber was one of 4 young people shot at a party in Pinson, one of the other shooting victims, talking to WBRC about what led up to the gunfire Sunday night. 21-year-old Silas McKay says the 27-year-old suspect showed up at the bonfire off Highway 75 and was bothering Mills. He says he and another person intervened and a fight broke out, and that's when he says the suspect pulled out a gun and started shooting. McKay says he was hit 10 times as he tried to protect others. McKay says he's known Mills for several years and they would get together every weekend with their friends, and that he wishes he could have done more.
He's only just trying to shoot me. Kimber only got shot because she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I went and seen her yesterday. I got up and got in a chair and they wheeled me over there, and I sat in the room and I talked to her for about 5-6 minutes. She had squeezed my hand and was telling me she loves me by, squeezing your hand.
Despite his injuries, McKay is expected to make a full recovery.
You know, those friends of hers, like the young man that you heard on that video, they need a lot of help too. And I know we're talking about Kimber here. Well, she's the one who lost her life, but those others surrounding her, they will need help. They will need support too. And I'm guessing they're going to have a lot of survivor guilt because they're the ones who survived. Their friend Kimber didn't. And they will probably forever be asking themselves, how come I survived and she didn't? So the community should also rally around them. Just an awful story all round, all because of this selfish guy, Stephen Tyler Whitehead. And there's a little bit more information here about what happened at that time, at the shooting. And I'm going to play this little video for you here. It explains what happened that night.
I'm standing here at the entrance of what's known as the Pit. People tell me that this was a popular hangout spot. Early Sunday morning, it turned into a crime scene. You can see that barriers have now been placed at the entrance, and I spoke with a woman earlier today who says she witnessed the entire thing.
I started talking to one of my girlfriends, and I turned back around and I just saw a big brawl. And so I started walking over there, and as soon as I walked over there, I saw him pull out a gun and just start shooting. It was just over and over and over and over and over again.
Locals tell me the Pit has been a place to gather for years, but early Sunday, that changed in an instant. Autumn Hauser says she watched as her friends were hit by bullets and tried desperately to help.
I saw Kimber laying there on the ground, and there was blood everywhere. I put up my phone. I started calling 911, and I couldn't talk to them. One of our other friends had to grab the phone, and I saw Silas laying there on the ground, so I ran over there to him. I grabbed my shirt that I had in my hand, and I just put it on his wounds because he was bleeding out. And I just sat there until the ambulance got there, just holding his wounds so he didn't bleed out.
She says she recognized the man with the gun, someone who'd been to gatherings before.
He was always real quiet. He didn't really talk much. He never caused a problem, never tried to argue. He was just there.
Hauser says no one expected violence from someone who once joined their parties.
There's people that have pictures with him and stuff from other fires where, we were buddies and taking pictures with him and all this. We would have never, this has never happened at any of our fires.
4 people were shot. One man, Stephen Tyler Whitehead, has been arrested. But for those who witnessed, the fear and confusion still lingers.
There you go, from a person who was actually there. Like she says, a lot of confusion and a lot of probably a lot of terror when you hear that gun go off. You're like, where is it coming from? Why is it going off? It would have been very confusing, and it would have taken them just seconds to realize that their friends had actually been hit. I don't know what to tell you except for this guy has made a very silly choice in life, and he is now going to have to, well, he's going to have to accept what he has done. He'll go through the court system. Most likely there'll be a trial unless he pleads guilty, and we'll see what happens. But very stupid choice at 27 years old to fire at anyone, even if you think it was in. I have a feeling he's going to try and claim self-defense, but we'll see. I don't think 4 people get shot and no one else, you don't get hurt when you try and claim self-defense. Hold on. Sorry about that. Warner Steele said, you go to a pain management clinic. Yeah, Mrs. Ping might be doing something like that. Pain management thing. Chipmunk said he had no light in him, she did, and he wanted to extinguish it. Possibly, possibly. Danny said 27 and at a high school party. Yeah, it seems like a bit of a creeper. Why would there be a 27-year-old at like a little teeny, party like 18-year-olds? What a creeper. Um, Sean. Kim says, "Oh, you're talking about something else." I was like, "They shut it down 3 years ago." I was like, "No, that's weird." Four Sons Mom said, "I've been referred to the used lung transplant program." Oh, you have to find 24/7 care for a minimum of 6 months first. Then I can be ready for a transplant. Kind of like that guy that Trish took care of, the guy with the kidney. That guy. And she had to look after him for a period of time. Same thing, but your one is way longer. I hope you can find people to help you. I'm sure with our lots of friends and people, we will something will come through and we'll get you the help you need, I'm sure. Kathy said he was a loner and wanted acceptance. I don't know. Woman of Steel said, look at his eyes. Creepy is right. He definitely looks a little dead in the eyes. Carolina said they're gonna find he was a misfit. Or like I would like to know what his intentions were. Yes, Kyle the kidney, that's right. I just want to know why he went to that party and what did he think he was going to do by taking a firearm to a party. I don't understand. It's a party. The idea of a party is that you have fun, not shoot people. So I'm confused. I don't really get it. But I can take you over here to the sheriff's office. They did put out an update earlier today on his thing. If I can. Okay. They're not going to let me. What? Okay. Fine. We'll go here. So he's been charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of murder, and he is now in jail. They're saying here, yeah, he was charged with murder for Kimber, and they say a 21-year-old man, an 18-year-old man, and an 18-year-old Kimber Mills were shot in the 7900 block of Highway 75 North in Pinson. They're saying a fourth victim, a 20-year-old woman, was taken to hospital by a personal vehicle. They're saying here each charge carries a bond of $60,000 for a total of $180,000 for those 3 charges. More charges may be pending. And the sheriff said today, if I can, what is going on? This sheriff's webpage is acting so strange. Hold on. What the hell? All right, fine. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. There we go. So this was the update from the Jefferson County, Alabama sheriff, and they say here that the male suspect, we know his name now, has been charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and not murder. Wait. No, I think he has been charged with murder. When was this update? This was today, right? Yeah. Okay, I don't understand where this discrepancy comes from. Yesterday we saw a story that said he had been charged with murder already for Kimber Mills because they had been told there was no possible recovery of her life. So they assumed that she was going to die. Someone asked yesterday, how can they charge him with murder before she had died? Maybe maybe something happened there because now he only has the 3 counts of attempted murder and not murder. Maybe they will charge him tomorrow with that murder charge because she's dead now. She died this afternoon. So I wonder if maybe tomorrow he'll be charged with that one. Strange. Strange that the other day they said there was a murder charge. Sure. I agree. I don't know what that means, but yes. Um, Blaze says, what type of gun holds all the bullets he shot? They said the boy that spoke had 10 shots in him. All the others, did he have to reload? Yeah, that's an interesting point. What kind of, well, a gun with a really big cartridge magazine. I don't know what the word is, but they can hold multiple bullets depending on what type of gun it is. Yeah, I just want to double check this information. I know this is coming from the sheriff, so it most likely is correct. But yeah, we can see him on the okay, maybe we can't. There is a Jefferson County inmate search, so let me have a look. And he is showing on it. Okay, that's not the one we want. We want this one. All right, I'm gonna have to use my VPN apparently. Nope. If it'll work, we can probably VPN. Nope, that's not how you do that. Apparently my VPN is not working. But there is let's see if we can use an alternate site. So he is showing in the jail. So he is in jail right now. I just wanted to see if we could see what charges he had. Let's go here. It won't let me in because they are racist against Australians, apparently. I believe that is probably what's going on. They are just seems to be they are racist. They don't like Australians. Yeah, let's go to KGNS. Maybe they've got more information. Friends of yep. So they said their goodbye to her today. Yeah, look here. The community has rallied around Mills in recent days, with the family saying over 100 people came to the hospital on Sunday to visit with her. Isn't that nice? 100 people. Say early investigations. Okay. I don't have a reason as to why they originally said he was charged with murder and now it's 3 counts of attempted murder, but maybe someone spoke too early. That could be true. So we'll have to leave it at that, unfortunately. Um, yeah, I will bring you more. Like I said, I would do today when I found out that she was going to do her honor walk at UAB, and I did that for you today. If I find out more about any public gatherings or celebrations of life or anything like that, I will bring it to you. And if I ever get into the inmate records, if I can get my VPN working, I'll show that to you as well at another time. I'm just trying to see if there's another. Yeah. So they're saying here, family members announced on social media that Kimber Mills had her on a walk and transportation from the life support to the organ donation center at around 5 p.m. on Tuesday. After that, she will go to surgery for organ donation. So that's probably already happened, I would say, being that it's past midnight in Alabama. Yeah. So that's probably occurred now. Let me check one other source for information for her. There was one other person I wanted to have a look at and see if they had a better update for us. Uh, there was some photos posted by family and friends. I can show them to you if you want. Here is apparently a family and friend holding her hand while she's in hospital. I don't, you know, don't envy those people at all. I mean, that must be one of the hardest things to go through. And they're saying, "Who's this?" He was shot 10 that this is the guy that was speaking apparently on that call that we heard in the video, the one that who said he was shot. He's the one who visited Kimber in the ward yesterday or today. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else about. Yes, we know that. So that guy that was shot 10 times, 3 bullets hit him in the leg, 1 in the hip, 1 in the rib cage, twice in the stomach, fingers, pelvis, and inner thigh. Wow, that guy really wanted him dead. Uh, he basically had gunshot, either fragments or actual bullets or ricochets through every major part of his body except for his head. That is the fact he's alive is a miracle. To be shot that many times, wow, it's insane. Yeah, what did they say again? In the leg, in the hip, in the rib cage, twice in the stomach, fingers, pelvis, and inner thigh. Very dangerous places to be hit by bullets. I mean, it's never a safe place to be hit in a bullet with a bullet, but um, yeah, it's not. Those sound like pretty dangerous places to be hit. That's such a nice photo of her. Yeah, I want to put this up on the screen. That's such a great photo of her. Look at that photo. What a beautiful photo. Um, let's see. Any more about her? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. Okay, they're saying that there will be a vigil later on, in the next little while. They're gonna have some sort of public memorial. Uh, yeah, okay. There's some like family photos and stuff on Facebook that show her in hospital. I don't wanna show her like that. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I'd rather show her like this in the photo that you guys see. So I'm not going to show those photos, but there are people that are posting on social media from the hospital room before she died, like holding her hand and like talking to her and things like that. I don't want to show her in that condition. Chipmunk says I was already thinking about Xmas for her family. A lot of the families that suffer with violent crime or missing people, holidays are always the hardest, and there's going to be a lot of families, new families that we learnt about this year in 2025, who will be having very, very difficult holiday seasons. A lot of them. And if you think about it, some of them this time last year were having a great time. And then you think 1 year later, they are now in the exact opposite of a spot. They are now part of a percentage of people whose families have been affected by violent crime, having a missing person, all sorts of very tragic type situations. And yeah, you should think of those people leading into the holiday season as we head into Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Those poor families will be having a terrible time. All right, let me take you. All right, we'll go to this one if I can get it to load up. So I think I brought you this story last week. So this is Alvarado High School. He's accused or has now been arrested for murdering his wife. So here's a photo here. They're saying a man accused of murdering his wife, an Alvarado High School biology and chemistry teacher, on October 19 was arrested in Bedias, Texas, which is about 2.5 hours southeast of Alvarado in Grimes County. And they're saying the police said 33-year-old Chelsea Spillers was found dead in her home on October 18 by officers who were conducting a welfare check. They say, based on preliminary evidence and coroner's report, investigators now believe her husband, Brandon Ashley, caused her death from blunt force trauma. He was arrested October 20, so about a day ago, and has been charged with her murder. Brutal. So here. Oh, his wife was the high school teacher. Sorry. There we go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. An Alvarado man is now charged with murder, accused of killing his wife, who was a popular high school teacher. Chelsea Spillers was found dead on Saturday. Her husband, Brandon Ashley, was arrested in Grimes County near College Station Monday morning. Spillers was a teacher at Alvarado High School. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has more on how the Alvarado community is remembering Spillers. Amelia.
Heather, Steve, Alvarado police confirmed they were called to Chelsea Spillers' home on Thursday and her husband was arrested, but they did not see any evidence of family violence. I spoke with former and current students who all described Spillers as a happy and energetic teacher. They're still in disbelief that she's gone.
It wasn't right. She didn't deserve that.
The death of a beloved Alvarado High School teacher has shrouded the small town in grief.
For this to happen to her and the way it happened.
Chelsea Spillers taught biology and chemistry. Alvarado police say officers responded to her home Thursday for a disturbance. When officers arrived, her husband, 40-year-old Brandon Ashley, held a gun to his head. He was arrested for interfering with public duties. He bonded out Friday morning. 2 days later, officers were called out again to the house to do a welfare check. 33-year-old Spillers was found murdered inside. Her cause of death was ruled as blunt force trauma.
I feel like this is another case of where we finally have the guy and then we let him go. And then 2 days later, we're like, oh, they killed someone. It seems like that is. Why does that keep happening? Why do we keep reading stories where we're like, we got him? And then they're like, hey, go off and have fun. And then they go and kill someone. Happens far too often. Far too often. Hey, Joe, what's up? Hey, buddy. Far too often.
Police issued a murder warrant for Spillers' husband, Brandon Ashley.
It's heartbreaking.
On Sunday night, Ashley was found more than 150 miles south of Alvarado, near College Station. Someone called the sheriff's office there saying he wasn't wearing a shirt and appeared to be experiencing a mental health.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but did someone call the cops to report someone not wearing a shirt? They're like, what? There's a guy across the road. We better call the cops. He isn't wearing a shirt. It seems very suspicious. We should definitely be on the lookout for people not wearing shirts. Also, it looks like the cops may have given him a bit of a stop resisting type of treatment to his face. I don't know if you can see, but he's got a split lip on his bottom lip. And it's almost like the cops were like, stop resisting, and then like shoved his head into the ground. Yeah.
Episode. He was also believed to be armed with a pistol. Monday morning, Ashley was taken into custody and authorities recovered a gun.
It still feels surreal because, like, how can someone do that?
Michaela Norris was in Spiller's class her freshman and sophomore year.
I feel like though she's gone, she still lives. She lives through all of the students she touched.
Norris and other students honored Spillers by holding a prayer service Monday before school, placing flowers on her front porch and wearing ribbons with her name.
I made a little over 200 ribbons in less than 24 hours.
Shanna Valorel is happy to do it for someone who impacted so many lives, including her daughters.
She was a wonderful lady, very loved by the entire community.
And is already deeply missed.
I don't think we'll ever forget her name.
There will be a moment of silence to honor Spillers at this week's homecoming football game. Students even wrote Spillers family letters.
It just feels like we could have got this guy before he committed the crime, and it's like, yeah, all the letters, it's very kind, all the sort of well wishes and honoring her at homecoming, great. But how nice would it have been to actually have her at homecoming alive and his ass in jail? I would prefer that. And when are we ever going to catch up and do that and keep these people behind bars when they start showing signs that they're going down that path? I think I've read 10 stories this week where someone was apprehended before a crime. Well, they committed a crime, they were apprehended, they got out, and then they committed a more escalated, serious crime like murder. I feel like it's like being on a treadmill, especially if you're a content creator in true crime. That's what it feels like. That every day I just read the same stories to you. Guy was arrested for DV, got out, killed his wife. Guy, was arrested for beating up his wife, got out, killed her a week later. And it's just happens over and over again. And you talk to the cops and they're all like, we are doing the best job we can. And you talk to the courts and they're all like, we are doing everything to the fullest extent of the law. And it's like, sure, but you're also the ones who gave him bail. I mean, if you kept him behind bars to answer his charges, maybe that girl would still be alive. Sometimes a day or two could be the difference in that woman being dead and her somehow getting away from him because he's behind bars. Even if it's for a week, maybe she escapes the area and is able to get help from family and friends. Maybe she gets in touch with a cop, PIO, or family officer and gets help. It seems like no one has the answers to how to fix this problem of people like committing more serious crimes after being busted for some sort of like DV or violent crime, and no one seems to know how to fix it. Everyone's like, oh, we're doing our jobs. Are you doing your job? We're doing ours. It's brutal. Hey, Nanalana, how are you? Yes, I don't know anything that's going on at Trisha's. I live in my channel in my world, and I don't know what's going on over there. I focus on what's going on over here. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Marlene said the cops do not make the rules for bail. It's the state house and senate. Well, it's the courts, right? All right. Disappointing that I have to bring you another story like this. It's actually, I was watching a documentary last night, and it was about a case I brought to you like a year ago, something like that. And I was going to ask you if anyone had watched it, because I haven't seen too many documentaries or episodes of anything on this particular case. And then when I read you this particular story tonight, it reminded me so much of this older crime that happened. And it is Alexis Sharkey. Do you remember her? And she was also from Texas. And it was her husband, Thomas Sharkey. He's the one who was accused of being behind her death. And they had a very DV relationship too. he was such a he was such a well, he was a guy. Basically, what he did was he ran away to Florida after killing his wife, and then when cops got close to him, he took a firearm and made himself go away. He is, I can't think of any descriptions for how much of a low life he is, but he's just a such a big man able to kill his wife, but then he like runs away and hides in Florida. And as soon as the cops knock on the door, he's like, bang, bang. I mean, he's a coward. I was trying to think of a stronger word than coward, and I think scumbag is probably as deep as I can go on it. Um, yeah, so there was actually a new documentary that came out called TikTok Murder Gone Viral. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I think that was that the season 1 or season 2. There's a season 2 out. Anyway, I was watching the new episode of season 2, and I think this one came on after. And it is there's an episode about Alexis in there, which is it's very interesting if you followed the case a while ago. But this one seems very similar, very, very similar. It's, it almost follows the same pattern over and over again. Here, I want to bring you one more story about her, if I can find the right link. Is this the right one? No, it's not the right one. Yeah, I'm going to take you to WKKT. It's a very short video, but I'll bring it to you.
A suspect accused of killing his wife in Alvarado is now in custody. Grimes County deputies arrested Brandon Ashley Monday morning after he was spotted at a convenience store in Badeas. Ashley had been wanted for the murder of his wife, Chelsea Spillers, who was found dead in their home Saturday. Deputies say they recovered a .357 handgun during the arrest. Ashley was taken to the Grimes County Jail, and the investigation remains ongoing. For more information, head to fox44news.com.
Sorry about that. My cat interrupted me coming back after the video. Chipmunk said, I understand it's crazy what people are saying. What? Oh, sure. Gail said, I saw an advert for it. Give it a watch. It's not too bad, although it follows people on TikTok and it tells you like about true crime influencers on TikTok. I don't think people keep saying I should do TikTok. I don't even know how to open TikTok. I'm getting old. Ping doesn't even know how to open the app. I'm like, how do you open it? I only know how to do YouTube. I'm getting old. Chipmunk says, yeah, we read that one. Let's see. Yes, he is a coward. Big ass coward. Yeah. Texas, Brandon Ashley, at least he's been arrested. I still find it funny that someone called up the cops to arrest him because he had no shirt. I think that is very dark humor, hilarious. I don't know why someone would be arrested for having no shirt, but it was funny. Here, one more here about Ashley.
Days after Chelsea Spillers was found dead at her Alvarado home, her neighbor wishes she'd done something more.
I think we're all kind of feeling that. We wish we would have known, or we wish we would have took more action.
The 33-year-old Alvarado high school teacher died of blunt force trauma on Saturday. Days later, her husband, Brandon Ashley, was arrested on a murder warrant more than 100 miles away in Grimes County, Southeast Texas. I'm at the suspect's sister Amanda here in Alvarado. She says that on Saturday she met her brother Brandon at a gas station in Corsicana, where he confessed to her, she says, that he killed Chelsea. She says she drove down the road just far enough to know that she wasn't being followed, and called police. A tragic end, but trouble had been brewing. On Thursday night, days before she was killed, a neighbor called police to report a domestic disturbance at their home.
Me and my daughter were coming out of the house to go to cheer practice, and we just heard, get on the ground, put the gun down.
Brandon spent the night in jail. Chelsea bailed him out. Friends and family are remembering her as a compassionate person, a dedicated educator.
Caring for the kids, being there for them, taking her time, getting to know them, making them feel like they were seen and heard.
How can you get picked up on a DV charge and then the person that you have the charge against bail you out? How is that possible? Laws need to change so that the person, if you are charged or accused of a crime of DV, you should not be able to have your partner bail you out if that's the person you got the charge against. Because isn't that part of the manipulation tactics that is in DV, where these guys convince their partner to come and bail them out because this is all one big mistake? Doesn't it go into that cycle of abuse? I would have thought so. It's part of coercive control over the victim. So in some countries like New Zealand, they actually give a order to the couple, and they're like, they can do it for however long they want, but usually it's 72 hours. And they say for the next 72 hours, you guys can't be anywhere near each other. And if we catch you anywhere near each other, we're going to arrest you. I wish they would do that in more places because I think it helps a lot to separate these people for a period of time. I'm confused how you can have someone bail you out when they're the victim. Yeah, it's that's very confusing. Yeah, strange.
Heard.
Chelsea and Brandon share an 11-year-old son. He's now staying with family. And Alvarado ISD says that counselors will be available on campus for as long as students and teachers need them. In Alvarado, I'm Luke Clary.
Well, a hard week in Alvarado for people. I hope that I hope that child now has no dad, no mom, and is staying with relatives. That poor kid's life is now turned upside down. Where does that kid go from here? I hope they've got some very good family members who will help out, because what's left behind is an 11-year-old child. So very sad, very sad. Woman of Steel said they should be separated long enough for the DV victim to get away. That's why those 72-hour holds, separation things are a great idea. I think they are something that should be made mandatory everywhere. Joe said judges do it all the time. They listen to DV victims who speak on behalf of the DV perp when the judges go along with it. Yeah, I've seen that before too. Horrid. That's all I've got on Ashley. I don't have too much more, but yeah, being arrested 2.5 hours away from the couple's Alvarado home, and they saying Chelsea's body was found on the Saturday the day before. They're saying here a neighbor called police on Thursday about a possible DV incident at the couple's home. When officers arrived, Ashley put a gun to his head and was ultimately arrested for interference with official duties. Spiller later bailed him out of jail. They're saying here officers were called back to the home for a welfare check the next couple of days later on Saturday morning and found Spillers dead. Investigators believe she was killed sometime before 5:30 p.m. that day on the Saturday. And they're saying that the autopsy determined she died from blunt force trauma. Police then obtained a warrant for Ashley's arrest. And they're saying here, the following day, Grimes County Sheriff's Office got a call about a suspicious man without a shirt. No, a suspicious man trespassing at a property in Bedayas. According to the authorities, he was said to be wearing black shorts and no shirt and possibly carrying a pistol. Multiple residents said the man had knocked on their doors earlier in the day asking for a shirt. Why? What happened to his first shirt? Where did it go? He also reportedly told residents he was avoiding a nearby highway because there were too many cops. Okay. Deputies combed the area but didn't find him at the time. The next morning, a 911 call reported a suspicious vehicle on private property in the area. A black Cadillac Escalade was the vehicle type, and that the call was said to happen on pasture land and may have been stolen. An hour after that call, the sheriff's office got a call about a suspicious man at a convenience store. Deputies obtained CCTV video of the man, who came back to the convenience store about 15 minutes later and was arrested. They identified him as Ashley, and he claimed to have a firearm hidden near the store, although he wouldn't tell the deputies where it was. Deputies did later find that firearm that was hidden. There you go. A hell of a story about him being arrested. What a strange thing to do. Kim says, I don't think DV victims should be able to drop charges either. No, they shouldn't. He's suspicious because he isn't wearing a shirt. That's right. I want to see someone make a meme about that, about a guy, and they're like calling 911 for a guy not wearing a shirt. It's not funny, Ping. Don't make fun of serious crimes. Don't make fun. It's not funny. It is funny when the victim's very stupid. Not the victim. Good work, Ping. The perpetrator. The perpetrator is very stupid. We'll find out more what happened to that poor lady soon, I'm guessing. Okay. I'm just looking at my list of stories that I have for today. I don't know if I want to do that one. I have a story. I'm just unsure if I want to do it or not. I guess. All right. I'm going to take you to CBS into Johnson County. Again, I think in Texas. Here we go.
A mother and a stepfather there have been arrested, both accused in the death of their special needs son.
Police say his body was found in the backyard of their home. This happened in White Oak Lane, just off Renford Street in Burleson. Tonight, we know our Aaron Jones hearing from neighbors who say they are stunned.
As far as Betty Noyola was concerned, up until last week, the couple who lived next door seemed perfectly normal.
We've talked to him in the backyard. We've talked to him in the front yard. We've seen them out there having parties. They know that my kids come over every Sunday for dinner.
So when Burleson police showed up at Jonathan and December Mitchell's door, it came as a total surprise. Police say they were called to the home for a welfare check on 26-year-old Jonathan Kinnan. Officers say he had special needs and lived with his mom and stepdad.
We've never seen him. Never did she ever mention that there was one that lived there, and we never saw anybody come and go with him. All they ever talk about is their daughter and their granddaughter.
During the welfare check, police say they got information that suggested Kinnan was dead and possibly buried in the backyard. Noyola says this same day, they noticed Jonathan Mitchell posted these photos on social media. Neighbors later learning that this is Kinnan.
My husband and I were talking, and we knew something was going on because they were bringing dogs and stuff in. And I said, they're looking for a body. They have to be looking for a body.
She says last Tuesday she could see police digging in her neighbor's backyard. She says after about 40 minutes, they discovered a body and she immediately turned away in shock.
So I shut my back door because I didn't want to see anything else. And then
I like this lady telling us that she watched them for a whole day digging up the backyard, but when they found a body, she turned away. You mean she closed the door and then peered through the blinds, right? And continued watching. That's what I'm guessing. It's all right, love. We do true crime here every day and look at crime scenes. We get it. You don't have to be shy about your love of true crime. It's fine. No embarrassment needed. Pretty horrible. These people buried their disabled son in their own backyard after telling neighbors they didn't have a son. his name is Jonathan. He was obviously a grown adult, but he has obviously had a very tough life, being someone that had challenges and barriers to living a life like other people. But he obviously lived some sort of life, but unfortunately was killed. According to this information I have, they're saying here Kinman's mother and Jonathan Mitchell, his stepfather, were arrested at the time, and police returned the following morning and found a shallow grave containing Kinman's body in the backyard. They exhumed the body and transported it to the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's office, where an autopsy was conducted. Investigators are now awaiting the results of that autopsy. The couples remain in jail, and they're in the Johnson County Jail, where they're being held on $250,000 bond each. So far, there's no other information right now, but they're both being charged with tampering/fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. I don't know what that means, except for I think it means that they moved a dead person and fiddled with a corpse, basically. I'm just trying to see if I can find any more information about the pair of them. Yeah. Their son with special needs was found buried in the yard, and camera seemingly caught mum saying, "All me." All me? What does all me mean? Here's a photo of their mugshots, by the way. There you go. There's the pair of them. These two people are accused of hurting their disabled son. That's what they look like. These people right here. These are the type of people that would hurt someone who is defenseless. These two right here. Look at them. The fabricating evidence part, they fabricated something that made him seem alive. Uh, maybe they talked to some sort of support service, and that's why they got arrested with that. That's what I think. Maybe like trying to convince people he was alive. Let's see. Yeah. Where did the welfare check come from? Because they're saying that the case came to light on Tuesday, October 14, when officers responded to a welfare check for Kinman, who was identified as having special needs, at a home he shared with December and his stepfather, Jonathan, on White Oak Lane in Burleson. And they're saying, yeah, during the welfare check, information was shared indicating that Kinman might be deceased and possibly buried in the backyard of the residence. And that's when they came back the next day and found him in the backyard. Yeah. Per the affidavit, as cadaver dogs searched the house, police video captured Kinman's mother in a patrol car, seemingly telling her husband, "The dog was going to find him on me. It was all me. That dog was going to find him." There you go. That's what she said, apparently. The dog was going to find him on me. It was all me. That dog was going to find him. Sounds like she's implicating herself. They say, according to a search warrant affidavit, Kinman was wrapped in a camouflage blanket when he was discovered in their backyard. A camouflage blanket. They're saying here the autopsy results are pending and a cause of death has not yet been determined. So they are waiting on a final autopsy result for them. So sister or brother? I don't know. I don't hear anything about any other children in the home. I'm not here. I don't see anything. Let me go over here. I'm just trying to see if I have another link where we can listen to more about them. Yep. Let's go to WFAA.
Along this Burleson street, neighbors are stunned.
It makes me sick.
Burleson police say someone the family knows asked for a welfare check for 26-year-old Jonathan Kinman, who has special needs. Neighbor surveillance video shows the moment police got to the parents' home on October 14th. The next day, they returned, and buried beneath a patch of dirt, they found a body.
Shocked.
According to search warrant documents obtained by WFAA, officers found Jonathan Kinman wrapped in a camouflage blanket in a shallow grave in the home's backyard, where he lived with his mom and stepdad.
Never, ever saw the child.
Neighbors who have lived here for decades say the couple lived there for 2 years, but say they never saw Jonathan Kinman, who police say had autism and a genetic condition that affects growth.
Oh, I didn't know they had a kid over there. Or a boy, whatever, a man.
Investigators say someone close to the family contacted police after Jonathan's parents posted online about his death. His mom told officers he died in a hospital, a story police say was false.
The conflicting information definitely led us to believe that something was not as it should be.
But according to court documents, a family friend later told police the couple had confessed that Jonathan had passed away recently and that he was buried in the backyard.
You think you know who you live next door to, and you don't.
If you're writing online about a child, well, grown man, but still a child, passing away, why not call the police? Why not call an ambulance? Why not call a coroner? Why not call someone? Why did you take it upon yourself to wrap him in a camouflage blanket and bury him in your own backyard, which is illegal, by the way? You need a permit to bury someone in a private property. Bizarre. And then to post about it online and act like no one was going to call the authorities on you and go about your day as if nothing was wrong. I am so confused about what is going on here. So they could still collect his benefits? Not if you tell people he's dead. You got to tell people he's alive, not that he's dead. What? It's very strange. Blaze said, "Why do people do this? That young man deserves to be acknowledged as a member of the family." It makes me wonder if they had him like locked in a room in the house. You know, you've seen some of these like House of Horror type homes throughout the world. It makes me wonder if that is what was going on, and maybe he died through the abuse that he suffered, and they didn't want their abuse to be found. So they buried him in the backyard and maybe dismantled that entire room. I'm guessing maybe that's what happened. Yeah, we all know more after the autopsy. Rachel said, telling people he died in a hospital online is bizarre. Exactly. Especially when people didn't know he was there. Like, there was a lot of people who didn't know he was even there. Gail said, like the girl that melted into the sofa. Right. How sad. Marilyn said, keep him and kept him a secret. Exactly. They lied too much already. They are some very despicable human beings. To do that to a man who is their son, who had enough problems in life that he didn't need his own family creating more barriers for him. And it sounds like that's exactly what they did. Treated him as if he didn't exist and were very horrible to him by the sounds of it too. Didn't even give him a proper burial. Buried him in the backyard like a family pet. Like literally like a family dog. They buried him in the backyard.
According to the affidavit, as police searched the home, Jonathan's mom was captured on police backseat camera saying, "It was all me. That dog was going in to find him." Jonathan's uncle, Jamie Kinman, released a statement saying the family is horrified and this is a living nightmare for the Kinman family. December and Jonathan Mitchell are charged with tampering or fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse.
As the search for answers continues, investigators tell us the autopsy results are still pending, and that means additional charges could be ahead. In Burleson, I'm Adriana De Alba.
Is nicknamed the Mark.
Horrific. A really horrific story. That's why I ummed and ahed about doing it. But if we don't talk about these horrible people, then they win. They really do. I want to know what she meant by they would find him on me. Does she mean that she had cadaver scent on her and that the cadaver dog would have smelt it on her clothes? That's what I'm wondering because I don't know why she would say that. Look at that. That is the grave right here. You can see that disturbed earth right there. That is the grave right here. That is where they buried him. I mean, it doesn't take a seasoned detective to figure that out. Any cop that walked in that backyard would have known that's probably where a body was buried. That's what they look for. They look for disturbed earth, any type of inconsistency in the soil. What else do I have here from them? Let me have a look. We have a tornado outside, apparently. The wind is going mental down here in Melbourne this afternoon. According to I'm just trying to see if we have any other information. No. So Law and Crime says that they requested the details about this case from the police office, but according to them, they're not going to release any court or police files at this time because it is a current case. So apparently, we're not going to find out more until later. That yeah, basically the authorities are remaining very tight-lipped about any of their investigative efforts for these two people. I'm just gonna try find any other source we can. Yeah, mum of son buried in North Texas backyard told police he died at a hospital. Yeah. The North Texas couple accused of burying their special needs son in the backyard of their Burleson home told police the 26-year-old had died a few days before at a local hospital. Interesting. They're saying a family friend reached out to police on October 14 after seeing a Facebook post from December about her son's death. Kinman said Kinman had Russell Silver syndrome, a rare genetic disorder, as well as autism, according to court documents. Horrible. They're saying here December Mitchell told authorities that her son had died at Texas Health Hughley Hospital. And they're saying investigators discovered the hospital didn't have a record of his death and that nothing was adding up about what she was saying. And they're saying detectives spoke with December again, and she told them she didn't have medical paperwork on Kinman's death. She also said they weren't planning a funeral due to cremation of Jonathan. I don't think he was cremated. What are you going to do? Dig him back up and then cremate him again? I don't think so. And then the cops obtained a search warrant, searched the home, and found him with a cadaver dog in the backyard. They're saying evening of October 14, Jonathan Mitchell called 911 to say his wife had buried Kinman in the backyard and he'd just found out about it. According to the affidavit, police returned to the house and found several locations where a body might be hidden. What? Like the big giant patch of grass? Like this? We found several locations where a body might be hidden. What? Like the giant hole in the ground? Yeah, I don't think it would take, Inspector Morse to find out where the body is here. There's several locations here. I think there's one main one right there. See ya, Eric. See ya, Eric. Hope you have a good night. Yeah, very strange. Very strange. I want to go back to my here. December, after cops arrived at her home, immediately told the officers she wouldn't answer any more questions without an attorney present. A friend of the family informed police that December Mitchell told him Kinman had recently died and been buried in the backyard. The friend advised the couple that if they didn't call the police, then he would. Good work to that person. Good work. Yeah, good work. And then yeah, she was caught on the police camera in the car saying the dog was going in find him on me. It was all me. That dog was going to find him. There you go. So there you go. A awful story. Really is awful. Inspector Gadget would have found him too. Rachel said, will be interesting to hear the cause of death. These people need to stay in jail. I agree with you. I think that when you hurt people who are special needs or people who have significant barriers in life, that makes you some of the worst people on earth. Hey, my stupid face is here. Here, hold on. Let me get my stupid face off here. You guys don't need to see my dumb face. Yeah. I don't think you deserve the right to anything if you hurt people who are special needs. I think those people need protecting in life, and they're the people that rely on others to be their shield because they can't always be their own. And when you hurt them, it makes you a real special type of evil, very special type of evil. And if they really have hurt this young man, I don't know what to tell you except for lock them up and throw away that key because I don't want to ever hear about them ever again. Let me see. Yeah. Horrible. Horrible, horrible. That's why I ummed and ahed about telling you that story because it was so just really not nice. But yeah. All right, let me see if I have any other stories on my list. I have a couple. Okay. Yeah. Let's head out to Vermont. I don't think we do a lot of stories in Vermont, but here's one for you.
We're continuing to follow the case of a missing Middlebury College student.
On Saturday, 21-year-old Leah Smith was reported missing. That student was last seen Friday night around 9 p.m. Yamuna Turco is in Middlebury now to tell us more about the search. Yamuna.
Brian, Liz, Middlebury police are investigating this case, and now they're asking for the public's help. Leah is a senior at Middlebury College in the graduating class of 2026, studying computer science and statistics. According to the police report, she was last seen on campus around 9 p.m. this past Friday. She was reported missing on Saturday. Middlebury police are asking anyone with information about Leah's whereabouts to contact them on their online tip line or by calling the department. And according to a recent statement, police say they are using drones in this investigation and are working to identify other potential areas to search. The department is working with Vermont State Police in this case. And Middlebury officials say that they will continue providing updates about this investigation as they come, and they are offering additional counseling and support services for students and staff.
All right, I'm trying to find you some more information about Leah, and it's Middlebury College in Vermont. Now, I don't know too much about Vermont. We don't do a ton of stories out of Vermont. I think we do very few. I think I might have done like a handful in 3 years. They're saying she's a 21-year-old scholar, former student athlete, and was reported missing after mysteriously vanishing from an Isle, Vermont college. And they're saying she disappeared on Sunday from Middlebury College after her concerned father filed a missing person report. Her father said if anybody knows anything, even if it's a friend that's just afraid that maybe the information they may have might not be useful, please share it with police. Oh, that was a sergeant, not her father. Sergeant Nathan Hayes. He says anything is worth us looking into and trying to decipher whether it benefits the investigation. They're saying the woman was last seen on campus 2 days before her disappearance, communicating with friends around 9 p.m. The investigation is ongoing, and they're saying they're using drones to identify possible search areas to find the 21-year-old. She's a native of California and is double majoring in computer science and statistics. She is a former student athlete who competed on Middleborough's women's swimming and diving team. Here, I'll put her photo up here for you so you can see it. So apparently, yeah, they're saying here, if there's any concern or if Leah thought she was in trouble for anything, she's not. Nobody is in trouble for this. So they are saying that if she's hiding out somewhere, she's not in trouble because of the search for her. So they are trying to get a message out there. This is so weird. Why would she just disappear? And that's all I have. I have so little to go on here for you, unfortunately. I'm trying to find any other information locally about her. There's like 2 articles about her. That's it. Yeah. I'm trying to go to boston.com. Is it VA? Yeah, Vermont. Oh no, not VA. Vermont. Yeah, what do they say here? Yeah, they've been searching, including on Monday, and they haven't been able to find anything. There's another photo of her as well. That's it. That's all they've got to say. Let me go to the Facebook page for her from her college. Just a lot of people praying that she is okay. And no real good information about what happened to her. Let me see here. Leah Smith. Let me check the college. Maybe they did an update today. Nope. They're just saying that they are continuing their search to find her, including they have used that drone, but they have not found anything so far in her disappearance at all. They're saying that she was last seen inside a building on campus, but that's it. She was last seen in a building on campus. Okay. Yeah, there's like no other information. Let me check up here. It's strange to have a girl who's been missing for like 3 days already, and it's not all over the social media true crime world already. It's very strange that there's like no one talking about it. Here, Middleborough. Yeah, on Facebook, there's only 3 posts about her. That's it. And 2 of them are from her college, and 1 is from the police department in the area. That's it. I'll show you the PD. That's the PD one there. I'm just trying to see if anyone has any good sightings. Just a lot of people praying that she is found again. There seems to be a running theme. That's it. That's all we have. That's it. I don't have anything else to give you. It's very strange for... I'm surprised like half the channels in true crime aren't talking about her. But look, I will. I'll tell you about her in the hope that it gets to someone in Vermont who might be able to find her. Yeah. Not on cameras outside the building. That would be interesting. Hey, Eric the Great, how are you? You asked the Black Panthers? Okay. Let me see. So, according to my information here, they have not released any other details about the surrounding days before she went missing or after she went missing. That's it. They're saying here her father filed a missing person report on Sunday after she stopped answering her cell phone and stopped talking to friends from college. So, yeah, that's all I can tell you. And that there is an active search for her. That's yeah. If I get more information about her, I will let you know. But right now, that's literally all I have. I hope they find her before we have to like start getting like Dateline involved and all that type of thing. Hopefully, we don't have to get to that point where we have to start talking to Dateline. Yeah. Yes, I know, Mr. Joe. I know. I know about that. Let's hope that I'm saying let's hope it doesn't come to that. I'm hoping we don't have to do that. Hopefully we don't have to go that far and that she turns up. So she's been missing since late last week. It is now almost Wednesday for you guys. So she's been almost missing a week now. That's quite a long time to not to talk to anyone. No friends, no professors, reporting any of your classwork. I'm guessing you'd have classes that you had to go to, and she's not turning up to them either. Yeah, here's the latest other article. They said they released an update on Monday. Police said that investigation into Smith's disappearance is active and ongoing. They noted that the searches have involved the use of that drone. Investigators are working to identify additional potential search areas. And that's it. That's all I have. Yeah. Well, I hope we get good news tomorrow about her. Her name is Leah Smith. She's 21 from Middlebury College in Vermont. So if you're in Vermont, in this area, keep an eye out for her. Joe said nobody is talking about London Valdez. I think a lot of people have talked about London, but I guess we could do more. Hey, Denise, how are you? Good to see you. Denise says, I really hope she is found. Me too. I am just concerned that there's so little. It seems very local. It seems very localized where it's not getting a lot of attention outside of that local area, really. I'm guessing that probably happens every day with missing people, but it's sad when it's a college student who seems like they need some help trying to track her down. Let me see. I think I have another one, unfortunately. Just let me check and see if he's been found or not. There was a boy missing, but I want to see if they found him or not. Seems like they haven't. That's very sad. I'm heading to the Columbus Dispatch, and this must be Ohio. They say endangered missing 10-year-old boy found safe. Oh, hey, that's good. I had him on my list from this morning, but that's great news. A 10-year-old boy who was missing from Columbus southeast side was safely recovered. Hey, that's a good story. The child was described as an endangered missing when he went missing October 20 in the area of Fairwood Avenue and Moeller Drive, according to the Columbus PD missing person unit. The unit said the morning of October 21 he was found safe. Police did not say why the boy was considered endangered, nor did they say what time he was last seen. Columbus police did not specify how investigators located the child. Well, hey, you don't always have to specify, but as long as the kid was found and is okay, I'm happy to. For once, a good story about someone being recovered and alive. That is good news. And in Ohio's had some bad missing children over the last, decade or so. We've had some really awful missing person reports from out there. Let's see. Might have one more for tonight. Let me see if I can find it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna head out to Florida for our last one. God, it's been a couple of days of awful stories about children. Copy link. Yep. I'm gonna take you out to Florida for this story.
This Pasco County mom will remain behind bars, charged with second-degree murder in the death of her own 6-year-old son. Justine Moroz made her first court appearance today, and as Fox 13's Kylie Jones reports, prosecutors asked the judge to deny bond.
Miss Justine Rose.
A Pasco County mother faced a judge via video conference from jail Monday afternoon.
You've been charged with second-degree murder, which is obviously a very serious felony.
Justine Moroz is accused of killing her 6-year-old son and then calling 911. According to court filings, Moroz told dispatchers she killed her son and was trying to take her own life. Pasco County deputies responded to the family's home on Drexel Road in Lando Lake Sunday morning. It was a shocking and upsetting scene for neighbors.
It's just not what we were expecting at all in this neighborhood. Everybody here looks out for everybody. All the neighbors look out for each other.
According to an arrest affidavit, Moroz told investigators there was an incident involving her son who had special needs. She allegedly admitted she snapped. We also learned Moroz worked for the Pasco County School District. The district says she worked as an itinerant, not a classroom teacher.
Another one of a disabled child being killed by their caregiver. Terrible this week. It's been a horrible week. There is a lot of evil in this world, Denise. I agree with you. Terrible story, really is. By the way, people are asking about Gus. There are no updates about Gus right now. Nothing. There has been no new news since the search for him wound up on Friday. There's been no real updates. I don't have anything on Aaron Patterson at this point in time either. No updates about the appeal. I have nothing on Isla Bell right now. We're waiting for the court to... So the court should rule next week on Isla Bell whether there's enough evidence to go to trial. We're waiting on that update. Should be next week. Okay. Where are you, my friend? I'm looking for your comment. I'm looking. Yeah, no news on Gus right now. Betsy. I'm looking for your comment, my friend. It's not showing up at all. Sometimes StreamYard doesn't show us all the comments for some reason. I don't see another comment from you. You'll have to ask again. Because I can't see it. Can I play a happy dog video? Maybe we could do that. Yeah, you'll have to play it again, my friend. You'll have to write it again. Yeah, I can get why it can be overwhelming for people with special needs or caring for anyone of any age, but hurting them is not the answer. Reaching out for more help is the answer. Asking for some respite care, reaching out to family and friends, asking community organizations for a hand. That is the thing to do. not hurting the child or the person you are caregiving.
In a statement, the district said, quote, on behalf of the entire Pasco County Schools family, we extend our deepest condolences to all who are grieving. We are deploying crisis teams to provide care and support to those affected by this heartbreaking event. On Monday afternoon at Moreau's first appearance, the judge ordered her to be held without bond. She'll be back in court for a pretrial detention hearing where the state plans to ask a judge to keep Moreau's behind bars until her trial. In Pasco County, Kylie Jones, Fox 13 News.
Yeah, let me try and bring you some more information. No, Gayla, it's not showing me at all, that message. They're saying that she was arrested on Sunday for killing her 6-year-old son, and they say she allegedly called 911 from her Land O'Lakes home, telling the dispatcher that her son was dead. She stated in that phone call that she had snapped and strangled the boy because he became combative. They say after the child died, she reportedly texted family members apologizing for the act, and they saying the child was nonverbal and autistic and was banging his head on the floor as he watched television. And they say that she reportedly tried to restrain him, but he hit and bit her. They saying she allegedly told police how she got on top of her son, choked him with both hands until he became lifeless. Then she got razor blades, cut her wrists, and called 911. According to police, she revealed that she bought the razor blades 2 days earlier and had attempted S-word on Saturday after picking up her son from his father's home. Oh, they say though initial reports identified her as a teacher of Pasco County, she's not. She just works for the school. She is not an instructor. She's been charged with second-degree murder. She was ordered to remain in jail without bond and will stay in there until her trial, most likely. Really awful story. Justine is her name. Justine Mroz is her name. Yeah. I'm going to take you to a different story if it'll pop up. Okay. Okay. There is her photo. You would have saw it in the other one. Yeah. Sounds like she was going through a hard time anyway. The fact that she said she bought razors and did that. Oh, I think it must have blocked it for me. There's certain filters on the different chat things, and I think it probably blocked it out for me. So yeah, I never saw it. I don't know. I didn't look at it that closely. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at that missing lady. Leah Smith. Oh, I see what you mean. Hey, look, maybe someone caught wind of the things that she has been through. You might be right. There is a photo of Leah. I mean, you might be right. Maybe it is one of our trans friends. It could be. Maybe it's one of our trans people. If that's the case, that makes it even sadder. How come our trans people and the different groups and things are not helping out here? You know, we got to find Leah. So we need people from all groups to try and find her. But yeah, you might be right. You might be right. Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. You might be right. You might be right. But about this woman in Florida, it sounds like she was going through a really hard time, but it's very hard to be on her side when she kills her son. If she had done something else and then this story had come out about how much she was suffering, maybe she would have a lot more sympathy. But the fact that she committed such a heinous crime makes it very hard to be on her side and try and sympathize with her. I don't think you can. I think her crime that she did to her own son is the worst of the worst. It really is. So we'll keep an eye on Justine, and we'll see what we can find out as she goes through the court system. Yeah, if she was feeling that way, she should never have picked him up from the father's home. She should have. It really is a tornado outside. She should never have. She should have said, "Dad, you're keeping him for another few nights. I am really not feeling well, and I need some help. I'm going to go get some treatment and some help, but I need you to keep the kid for a few more days." That would have been the adult thing to do. They call that a crime of passion now. It definitely sounds like a crime of passion. Jeez. It is like a tornado outside right now. The winds are going mental. My blind just whipped all the way out. Crazy out there. Melbourne is turning into a windstorm this afternoon. All right, I'm going to get out of here. By the way, thank you to the people who donate to this channel. If you're one of those nice people, you'll see your name in our ending video. I hope the people who have already supported this channel saw their names in there and enjoyed seeing their names in our ending video. If you're one of these people, we update it once a week on the Sunday, and you'll see your name pop up in it next week. So hey, I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see if we have updates to any of the 20 stories that we read tonight, including Leah. I'll see if we have any updates to her search for her. And I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone. I love you all. Bye.
Jacket feeling cold against your skin, running through the chaos, letting all the sin, temptation in a bottle, ready for the night, craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite, dark desires burning bright, echoes in the